3 hours of the regular show on terrestrial radio, and you wanted a little bit more, so that's why you found the Gun Talk After Show podcast, where we saved all the best things that we can't say on regular radio. Now here's Tom, Michelle, and Jim for the Gun Talk After Show.
It's the After Show, where we gather together to continue the celebration of the Second Amendment, making a joyful noise for the Second Amendment. Bang! Oh, I'm sorry. Did I do that? Okay. We have Miss Michelle.
Hello.
Cleland with us. Hi there.
I'm here.
Yes, and Jim Kinsey over in the corner.
Yes.
We're rightly so.
Yes, sir.
I even know my place.
Yeah, that's right. And stay there.
Yeah.
Sit, stay.
And you're going to like it.
That's right. And Alan is joining us right now from the state of Pennsylvania. Hey, Alan.
How are you doing this afternoon, sir?
Oh, we're having more fun than we're allowed to.
Oh, that's always the best kind.
That's right. So what's up? What are you thinking about? I see the note here. You want to talk about traffic stops, but heck, we can talk about anything that has to do with guns.
Well, I was saying you were talking about what you do in a traffic stop per person.
Mm-hmm.
I live in the state of Pennsylvania. We don't have a duty to inform law.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually found in most cases, unless they are going to take me out of the vehicle, I do not even inform them because most police departments are woefully undertrained.
I do not agree. I don't disagree with you. I mean, which is a weird way to say I agree with you. I think if you are in a state where you do not have to inform the officer, and you're not going to expose the gun in the process of getting out all of the paperwork and all you need, that's probably a good way to go.
When I get in my vehicle, the first thing I do, I take my driver's license and my insurance cards, I place them above my visor on my vehicle. That way, when they step up to the side of the vehicle, my hands are on the steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
When they ask for my information, I reach up, pull it off of the visor, and hand it to them.
I would even throw out this thought to say, they're up here on the visor, can I get them? Because, believe it or not, people have kept guns, small guns on their visors, and the cops know that.
That's true. That is true.
I was just to say, to your point, if they ask you to get out of the car and you are carrying a gun, that's probably the time before you exit the car to let them know, so there are no surprises.
That is exactly how I handle it, because I vividly remember this. The first time, 21 years old, I went and got my license to carry a firearm in the state of Pennsylvania. 22 years old, I was in an area I didn't know. I made a right turn on red that I didn't see the sign preventing it. And when I informed, it was a small-town police department. When I informed the officer that I was carrying a loaded firearm, it instantly went from a traffic stop to I was literally looking down the barrel of his .357 service revolver.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I like your approach.
That's why I like to keep, if I'm going to any state, that's why I keep up on any of their laws if they honor our permits and what I'm required to do in that state. So.
It's a great point. You know, it's a great point because when you go to another state, there may be a duty to inform. And in Louisiana, for instance, where I live, if you have an official, I don't know what you call it, encounter, but conversation, not like, shooting the breeze about the weather, but if it's a traffic stop or something, you are required to inform the officer that you have a permit and that you are carrying. So, yeah. And as you travel state to state, that's the law. Wherever you are, you know what it is. That's why I like that website, handgunlaw.us. It's what I use. I know there are some other things. There are even apps for that now.
Oh, that's another thing, too, with where I live. I live in the southwestern corner that I cross over into West Virginia all the time, and I'm very fluent with their laws. Theirs are very similar to ours in Pennsylvania, as in I'm an open carrier also.
Okay.
When I'm out on foot, I open carry. That's another thing that I've found that most of our police departments are ill-informed on, that they believe even though you're carrying, if you're open carrying in PA, you do not have to have your license to carry with you at all. I've had officers actually tell me that since I have my license to carry a firearm, I have to carry it concealed also, which is not the case.
Right.
Wow, a cop not being up on every law. No way.
Yeah. Yeah, do as I say, not as I do, has found most of their reference.
Well, and of course, once again, trying to win the argument there is generally what you have to do is take a very polite and cordial attitude about the whole thing and say, actually, that's not the law in Pennsylvania. I'm not required to have that. And I wouldn't, not get cop an attitude or anything else. It just, that's actually not correct. On this thing, the law is a little bit different. And try to help them get to where they need to go without trying to show them up, I guess, might be one way to put it.
Yes, that is very true.
Hey, Alan, I appreciate the call, sir, and you be safe out there. Carry on. That's I like that. Carry on.
Yeah, perfect.
Carry always.
Carry always. That's right. Carry on. It's, I'm glad we had Chris Serino on the show talking about that today, because, you got a guy that trains people, he carries, and it was a cop, and a lot of people don't know, he was actually an air marshal and did training for air marshals. He's got a lot of.
I thought that was hair marshal.
No,
he was an air marshal.
You're thinking of Warren Beatty, the air marshal. Yes,
yeah, right. It's a blast from the past.
Yeah, no kidding. And boy, let me tell you, you want to hear some funny stories? The air marshals see the weirdest stuff. Holy cow!
Sure.
Just like people who are being a little crazy belligerent or something. Of course, Chris is a big guy, but a very cordial, very friendly guy.
Yeah, until he has to not be.
He said, "Yeah," he'd kind of just step over and stand next to him and say, "You need to be quiet now." And well, who are you? He says, just a concerned passenger. But as he towers over.
The best thing for your health would be.
You just need to be quiet now.
Don't mean to intimidate you, but.
Right.
But since I have, you might want to.
That's right. Since I am very large and very muscular.
Hey, after this upcoming break, I wanted to touch on something Alan mentioned and get a clarification. I think Michelle might know the answer to it. I have not researched it yet, but
I love how you put that. Tom, we're assuming that you don't know the answer, but Michelle probably does.
I don't know. Maybe we better Google it.
I think it's Ohio law. Hence,
that's why we're going to the break, so we all have time to look this up, right?
Come
all
back,
right, let's take 60 seconds. We'll come back, and you can embarrass me then, all right?
Oh, perfect.
Be right back.
What was that? At?
Look at it. Look at it.
You use Slip 2000's full line of gun lubricants, including EWL and EWL30, because you know your guns deserve the best available. It's time to add Slip 2000's Carbon Killer Gun Cleaner. Carbon Killer dissolves carbon and lead on contact, is not toxic, and reusable. Carbon Killer works on all weapons, including handguns, rifles, and machine guns, plus silencers and compensators. Slip 2000. We're all about gun care. Learn more at slip2000.com.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit sigsauer.com today.
Okay, Googling is done. What do we have, Jim?
No idea. No idea whatsoever.
No idea. That's right.
I had a situation just a little while back, and it was pertaining to what Alan's talking about the duty to notify. Mm-hmm. I had a officer of the law reprimand me for something, and I wasn't about to argue, and I should have looked it up afterwards, and I haven't yet. But I had a medical situation with a friend of mine, and I was real close to a fire department. So I said, well, instead of pulling over and calling 911, they're just going to respond from there. So I drove the 200 feet, pulled in, and went and got help.
Got the EMS guys there.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was carrying, and they have a no gun sign, and I didn't care because it was a medical situation. So I ran and got everything was fine. And they got the proper attention, and they out of procedure, they called a police officer to respond. So he showed up and asked me if I could tell him what was going on. So I told him. I was standing outside a squad car. I gave him all the info that I could, and everything was done. He says, okay, well, just go back on inside the firehouse and wait for me there. And I said, I'll just stand outside. He says, why is that? I said, because they have a silly no gun sign. I'm not going in there. He says, you're carrying a gun? I said, yes, sir. Why didn't you notify me when you approached the car? And I said, because I didn't think Ohio law did that except for traffic stops. Then you need to learn the law. I said, yes, sir. I'll check into that. Thank you for understanding. And I just left it at that.
Good. That's a good way to handle it. Yes, sir. Thank you. I'll do better. So what is the law, Michelle?
He's got me fumbled on that one. I'm not sure because it wasn't a traffic stop.
Right.
It was an approach, like an approach on a street. You approached the car.
But see, in Louisiana, you would absolutely have to inform because it was basically official duty. It doesn't matter if it's a traffic stop or not.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm going through my head. I guess if it had been casual conversation, it might not have been that big of a deal.
Right.
Ununiform. I don't know.
Tell you the truth, I didn't really think about it.
Right.
It wasn't a gun needing a gun situation. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Always remember I have it on me. To tell you the truth, it becomes part of me, and I don't really think about it.
That's why you need an uncomfortable gun.
There you go.
You need to start carrying your.
That's why you carry the big, clunky things with lousy holsters, so you can never forget that you're wearing this thing.
Both 10s. I'll carry both 10s.
But if you're paying any attention at all to Ohio law and things that are going on in Ohio, Jim, they are now passing, or it has passed partially, I guess, a law to be able to carry in those prohibited sign areas.
Saw that.
And if you're asked to leave, you must leave. If you go back within a 30-day period, I believe, then you can actually be convicted of a misdemeanor crime against the gun act prohibition.
Wait. If you're asked to leave, you leave.
Yep.
But then basically you can't come back for 30 days?
Correct.
With a firearm.
With a firearm.
Oh, with a firearm.
Yep, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, we should edit that, huh?
That's one way to pay your bill. No.
What?
Yes, if you're asked to leave, you cannot go back into that property or onto that property carrying a firearm within 30 days, or you could be considered breaking the prohibition.
Yes. That has passed the House.
Yes.
Has not passed the Senate yet.
Correct.
And then they would have to, hopefully the governor will sign it.
But it's kind of exciting because it makes, well, let's just say there's all the law-abiding citizens that avoid, or there's some that don't avoid and carry anyways. And you now make them legal citizens. I mean, they're not doing anything.
Now, there's a couple exceptions, like daycares still apply and that you can't. But overall, it would be great if it gets through. It'd be how it should be.
Once again, it's one of those deals of you needing to. The onus is on us to know the law, and one of the ways, and always go back to this. One of the ways to know what your state laws are is to become a member of your state gun rights organization, because they will let you know what's going on. So whether it's Gun Owner Action League or the Buckeye Firearms or whatever it happens, in our case, the Louisiana Shooting Association. And look, there are different levels. Some are better than others. Some are more competition-oriented. Some really don't do much in the way of legislation of gun rights. But it's a good idea to get involved. At least maybe this is the way to put it, guys. Be a part of the firearms community where you live so that you can get the updates. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And I think even if you follow the ILA side of the NRA, they send out all those bulletins and information state by state too and keep you up to date.
That's true. If you sign up for the grassroots, what do they call it, grassroots newsletter or updates at the NRA's ILA, they identify what state you're in, and they will send you email alerts of things that are going on, things you need to know about in your state. So that's a great idea.
Right. And the contact information, I think, is normally included right with that. So easy.
Right.
Easy.
So they say, you need to let Senator so-and-so at the state Senate know about this because we need to, fill the email box or the phone calls or whatever.
One more reason to spend $25, $35, whatever many dollars it is appropriately per year, huh?
Yeah, because they're either 5 or 14 million NRA members.
Somewhere in that area.
Isn't that interesting, though?
It's crazy.
That many people identify themselves as being NRA members. I had heard this, 5 years ago or something. I thought at the time, that's really interesting. I'm not discounting it, and it's not that I don't believe it. But then this new Pew survey came and says, 14 million people identify themselves as being NRA members when the real number is around 5. You're going, that's just interesting to me.
Is that pressure of a question when faced with the interview question? Is that a peer pressure thing? Like, well, of course I'm part of the NRA.
Well, okay, that's an interesting question. So if somebody asks, are you a member of the NRA?
Well, I'm a gun owner. Of course I am.
And that's right. And you say you are when you're not. Is it because you know that you should be?
The psyche of it.
And if anybody's listening to this and they think, well, yeah, that's what I would do, but I'm not, but I would answer that way, then why aren't you?
Right.
For heaven's sakes.
Yeah. It's really not that expensive.
It's not expensive. It's less than a box, a lot of different types of boxes of ammo, for heaven's sakes.
Right.
So, yeah. And and also you get informed. And you know what? They've got some pretty good magazines, too.
Yes, they do.
You could pick, I don't know how many they have, but it's got to be
I think
4
there's
or 5.
3. American Hunter, American Rifleman, and
America's Freedom, First Freedom?
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, it's 3 there. So, yeah, you can pick the one you like, or you can subscribe to more than one for a little extra dough, but that'll keep you informed of what's going on, too. So, it's one of those baseline things. You say, well, I don't really know if I'm getting much out. Yes, you are. Just, what it is, it's like voting. You just throw that in. It's the $35, and you're there. And just make that, Lord knows, nobody can find $35 in their annual budget anyway. I mean, you can't find it in there. So, yeah, it's less than the cost to fill up your SUV one time.
And if nothing else, it's a great birthday, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas Day, Hanukkah, any of those types of gifts.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's Christmas in July right now.
Says the retail gal.
I make nothing off of that.
Always thinking sales. That a girl.
I like it. Tell you what, let's take another quick break here because I've got an email that I got to read because, as they say, we get letters. We'll be right back.
Get the fastest semi-automatic trigger for your AR rifle with Franklin Armory's BFS trigger. The binary firing system offers a 3-position selector for binary, semi, and safe modes. In binary mode, your AR fires 1 round on pull and 1 round on release. Works in any AR, is easy to install, no paperwork needed. 100% U.S. made, patent pending. The BFS trigger from Franklin Armory at a dealer near you or at franklinarmory.com.
The Springfield Armory SOCOM 16 CQB is a serious package of .308 firepower with a long military background. 10 inches shorter than the standard M1A with the standard 10-round or the optional 20-round magazine. It's a thunderous close-quarters battle rifle that stops, fights, fast. Ghost ring rear and tritium front sights with a 5-position adjustable cheek piece. The SOCOM 16 CQB is ready for anything. Springfield-Armory.com.
All right, we're back with you. I get this from Chris in Stockton, California. He says, I took advantage of Springfield Armory's Gear Up mail-in rebate and bought a Springfield Armory XD9. Not only do I get 4 extra magazines, I guess that's in addition to the 2 that come with it. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a heck of a deal. A magazine holder and a holster. The gun itself was on sale for $50 less. I mean, it goes on and on. He says he ran about 250 rounds of both target and personal defense loads through the gun. Everything works fine. He says he did have 2 issues. First, the slide would not stay open sometimes when the magazine went empty. He says I can manually pull the slide back and it does lock open. Could it be that some of the ammo I was using did not have enough recoil to push the slide all the way back into the lock open position? Second one is the front pad of his trigger finger hurt after shooting 250 rounds. He says, I think my grip was okay, but I wonder if that trigger is a little sharp, and is there something I can do about it? Overall, I love the gun, and it's a great deal and a keeper. So we have 2 issues. One is sometimes the slide doesn't lock open on the last round, and 2, his trigger finger was hurting after 250 rounds. What are your thoughts?
Well, on the trigger finger part of it, if he's a seasoned shooter, which I'm assuming that he probably is since he's saying that he's got that little bit of a issue, it might be like a little knurling that's on there. It might be a sharp spot.
Right.
I don't see any reason why you couldn't
a
little sandpaper across there.
Sandpaper, emery paper, something like that. Yeah.
I mean, as far as a misfire here or there, I don't know if I'd get my skirt all up in the air about that.
Well, it's not a misfire, just the slide isn't locking back on the last round.
I guess, is it consistent? Consistently?
Well, that's what we don't know. If you got 6 mags, sometimes you'll have a mag that won't, because it's the mag that actually ends up locking everything back. Because that's why when you just rack a slide without a mag in it, it won't lock back. So you got to have the mag in there, and the slide locks back. So I would want to, when it happened, I would want to identify the mag, which is, another reason you want to number your mags. Mm-hmm. 1 to 6, scratch on them, paint on them, do something to them, so that if something starts happening, you can say, that's consistently mag number 2. or it happens with all the mags, but otherwise you won't know. The other thing, let me throw this out that might be happening, and I've seen this. Some people ride the slide stop with their thumbs. Mm-hmm. And so if you are pressing down on the slide stop when you're shooting the gun, it's not going to lock back. Possibility. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I mean, could be one or the other, but the diagnosis, I think, first of all, I think for everybody to know, if you have multiple mags, scratch a number on the bottom of them or paint them. Fingernail polish works actually pretty well.
Or sight paint.
Sight paint.
Yeah, they make that good orange, green, white, black sight paint. Mm-hmm. That works good.
You could dip each one in a different color paint.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Just don't let it get inside the holes, right? Don't let it get around the spring mechanism.
That's not going to affect anything. Yeah.
Well, you could probably change out the floor plate of that magazine and make it any color you want to now.
Well, yeah, you could, actually. Take the floor plate off, you could paint it, stick it back on there. Yeah, you could certainly do that. Huh.
I had something kind of similar, I guess, in some ways to that. At a gun I was looking at possibly taking ownership of, and you try it on a holster and you wear it for a while and you take it in, you take it out, and you kind of mess with it a little bit and decided it's just not going to work for me.
Yeah.
Which was unfortunate because I loved the gun. I liked the idea and the feel. It was a little 1911 380 pistol, but every time I holstered it and went to pull it, I hit the darn magazine release.
Was it a Browning?
No, it wasn't.
What was it? Whose was it?
It was a Kimber that I was messing with for a little bit.
Okay, a little 380 1911.
Yep.
But just happened to be. Now, here's a question: could that be a factor of the holster?
Possibly.
Or is it just the way? Because it's a physically smaller pistol, and it may be that it has moved that mag release to where just when you grip the gun, that's just where your thumb naturally falls, and you basically disengage the mag.
And it's not a small mag release button. It's fairly large, so it makes it easy to get to. So yeah, kind of have to train yourself differently with a pistol. It's amazing.
I'm reminded of the folks who, at least I hope they don't do it a lot anymore, but used to, they would put these great big buttons, oversized mag release buttons on their 1911s. I mean, it looked like a hubcap on the side of your pistol.
Yeah.
And people were forever dropping their mags with those things, bumping that thing.
Mm-hmm. And this is bigger like that too. So, changing out that little button, or like I said, just coming up with a different way, and maybe a different holster works with that too. I have found ways around it, but it was like, oh man.
Now I'm interested that you are looking at a 1911 because you have access to all different sorts of guns. So why a 1911?
Well, no, not anymore. They frisk her when she leaves the store now. She's not looking.
I like the platform of the 1911. I like the feel. I like that because it had physical sights on it. It had big sights on it that you could see that weren't obnoxious to holster either. But, they have the little Meprolite sights on them. And honestly, I love the pistol. I do. It was just like, oh, got to work on that.
You think you could replace the mag release button with a smaller one?
Yep. Replace that.
If only you knew a gunsmith.
I know, right? No, if only I could get any work done on my personal gun.
Oh, I see. The cobbler's children have those shoes. Yeah, there you go. Honey, can you work on my gun? I'm sorry, I got work to do. We have paying customers.
I'm not sure why you like the 1911. I don't think that format's going to make it. I don't think it's going to stick around. That design
it's so weird. I just love a 1911, and I really like having more ammo, and I am so torn.
Yeah.
What I want is a double stack that's not fat.
Right.
One of those deals.
Yeah, they make it. It's called a 22 long rifle.
Double stack. Yeah, that's right. 42 rounds in my mag.
3/4 scale size.
Well, actually, what's that? That Kel-Tec. Remember that Kel-Tec 22 mag pistol? Holy cow! That thing is lightweight. Holds like
6,000 rounds.
Yeah, exactly. A whole bunch of rounds.
Well, now you're being crazy.
Yeah,
that's a little. That's crazy. Yeah, although we were shooting that indoors one time with Kel-Tec, shooting some video of it, and was shooting a 22 Magnum out of that pistol. There was a donut of flame that came out each time you shot it, like this fire ring that comes out. It was so cool.
Yeah, they're little. They're little.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, this just in. Update on Ohio law.
Yes.
The way it's worded is if you're stopped for a law enforcement purpose, first of all, if you don't have a gun on you, you don't have to tell them you're a permit holder.
Okay.
It's recommended you do, right?
No, it says there's no need
No,
to.
but I mean, you always...
Yeah, this is the law.
Yeah.
It doesn't give recommendations per se. Just tells you have to. If you're stopped for law enforcement purpose, whether you're in a vehicle or not, you have to tell them.
But you weren't stopped.
I wasn't stopped. I was helping him. But he was in official capacity, so it was first-degree misdemeanor could lose your license for 1 year.
Okay.
So I'm glad he interpreted the law in his way and didn't push the issue. Because
he chose to educate you.
Yes, he did, and I obviously I needed the education because the way it's worded, I stopped him, but
it sounds as though it was he didn't stop you. That'd be interesting. Who has to stop whom?
Right. So whatever. I guess what they should say is something. If you're dealing with a police officer in official capacity, you should then inform him. Blah blah.
That would be clarification.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous, too, because if you were a scumbag and you're going to do something stupid, you're never going to announce it anyway.
Well, that's the whole thing, isn't it? No. But I understand they're saying, look, I don't want to be surprised as an officer.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be in their boots, and I would want the exact same thing they have here. I understand it.
Right.
Sometimes you forget you got it on you.
Well, that should not happen.
Yeah, well.
No, I mean, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I knew I had it on when I went to the fire station because
right.
At that point I said, screw it. But the second time in, there was now a policeman there that could have done something about it, so I obeyed the law, which was kind of my way of informing him. So, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
I kind of obeyed the law, kind of, sort of.
Well, the defendant, Jim the Weasel, please stand up with his excuse.
Officer, if you have any further questions, I will be standing 1 block away.
That's right. Here's my cell phone number.
On the northwest corner.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my gosh.
No,
Well,
I was actually, I was open carrying one time. Every once in a while I'll experiment with it.
Wow, you hardly ever do that.
I know. And police officer, I said, well, come on over to the station. So I went over, and we were out in the parking lot, and it's they were looking at a demo car from some company that puts lights on police cars. Mm-hmm. And this thing looked like Las Vegas, this car. Because, it had every light you could put on a cop car. And so there's like a dozen cops standing around. And I walk up, open carry, and they're kind of looking at me like, And the guy said, well, come on down to the station. And I said, and I was actually wearing a 1911 that day. I said, with that on? He said, oh, sure, it's fine. It's good. Of course, I think it's absolutely illegal.
Sure.
But, okay, so we went inside. It was uncomfortable. That's what it was. So,
yeah, man, they were just setting you up. Come on inside.
Yeah.
Okay,
come on inside. Here's a cuff. Sorry.
Did you keep your when you were in there? Did you keep your hand over your head, touching the other shoulder? So it's like
I just put my hands on top of my head everywhere I walked.
I am not reaching for my pistol.
Sort of twitching. Said, I got a gun. I got a gun.
Got a gun. No, actually, in this group, they'd all go, "Hey, what you carrying, dude?"
Cool.
The officer actually. This will give you an idea. Within the force, his nickname is Tackleberry.
Tackleberry.
He was great.
I stepped into his cruiser, sat down. He's got his patrol rifle up front. He's got a shotgun laying on the left side next to the door. He's got like something under the seat. I'm going, you are Tackleberry. He said, oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I have a question for you guys, too, kind of to go back to what our caller was talking about. I'm of a different approach, I guess. I want everything to be on my body. I want my cell phone in my pocket. I want my firearm on my side. I don't necessarily want my license free range up on the visor. To me, if anything should ever happen, I'm in an accident, I need to get out of my car, I have everything with me that I would need. I would never abandon anything that is of crucial importance to me.
Yep, I'm with you completely. I understand what you're saying. It's funny because you guys know we work with Greg Lappin from the Vada Group. And one time he told me, he says, yeah, I got back in my car, been out training, and I had the pistol in the rig, and I just had it over the side and didn't even put it on. He says, I'm driving along, and I realized this is stupid. He says, I pulled over to the side of the road, got out, and put on my complete rig because he said, because something could happen when I have to roll out and take off running or do something.
Yep.
And that's always my thought, Michelle, is exactly that. If I have to get out of this car fast to take care of something or to get away from something, I don't want to leave anything in the car that I need.
Right. I just wanted to touch base on that because I guess that's just my philosophy.
That brings up something interesting, too, which I've been addressing the past couple days. Motorcycle carry is totally different than car carry.
Oh, that's right. Because somebody just got a new motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool. But anyway, because when you carry on a bike, you get pulled over, you reach inside your breast pocket. That's usually where guys keep their wallets and stuff because you put them in your butt pocket and you're going to fall out. You're going to lose stuff. So most guys keep it
I'll follow you. That's okay. I'll catch it.
So most guys carry it in the chest pocket, right? Okay. So what happens when you get pulled over? You got to unzip your coat. You got to pull your wallet out. Cop thinks you're reaching. So my idea was the other night, and I'm trying to implement it this evening, was even though it's not a valid form of ID, it kind of is. There's my weasel factor again.
Oh my gosh.
I want to photocopy my driver's license, my gun permit, and my insurance and registration. Have all of them on one piece of paper right in my fairing. So if I get pulled over, I don't have to reach for anything in front of me. My hands are in plain sight the whole time. I grab this laminated piece of paper, hand it to the officer. Then I can say I have the originals on me as well if you would like or something. That way, you're not doing anything that could get you shot that was totally innocent. You have everything's in plain sight that you are doing. You're not doing anything covertly because it's carrying on a bike is weird.
Well, let me ask you this: why do anything before the officer gets there?
Well, because you have to have your permit and your license in your hand when you.
No, you don't. You don't have to have anything prepared when he shows up. People always say that. They want to do that. I get that. But just wait. Keep your hands on the handlebar. Wait till he walks up, and then have the conversation before you reach for anything.
Okay.
You know, just say, hey, sure, it's in my pocket, and, officer, and I am carrying today. This is where the pistol is. What do you want to do? How do you want to do this thing?
All right.
Just, conversation.
Or you, Jim, being your little Weasley guy, could get off your bike and assume the position automatically.
I'm a big Weasley guy. I'm not that little. I take offense to that.
You big weasel, you. Oh, he's got a new nickname now. The Big Weasel.
But, now that concealed carry is more and more popular, I guess even carrying into parks and whatnot. So these people that are like true bicyclists, not motorcyclists, they would have the same issue.
Sure.
Like where and how and the true bicyclists, of course, are in, they
got spandex little shorts and everything. Yeah, I think you stuff it all inside your helmet.
They're in the skivvies.
There you go.
It's minimal carry.
Thanks for that visual.
Yes.
Well, of course, it's an issue. How do you carry when you're on a bicycle?
Right. Well, that's another thing. I physically have to carry in a different position than I do in a car.
So when you're riding your motorcycle, how do you carry?
I'm not going to tell you. It's none of your business, sir. I actually have a pocket holster inside my pocket where it's much easier to get to. I don't have to reach back. I don't have to get off the bike. I don't have to pull my jacket up. I just pull one zipper and boom.
Yep.
Hopefully not bang, boom.
Of course, there are a lot of jackets that have pockets for guns inside the jackets, too. A lot of ways to go there.
Yep.
I'm still going with the rope through the trigger guard, though, around your neck. I'm telling you. So you're missing a bet there, man. I'm telling you.
I'll get right on that. Bam!
What happened to him? I don't know. His pistol beat him to death when he hit 65 miles an hour.
That harmonics thing you were talking about?
Yeah.
It was almost musical, actually.
Oh, that's just Jimmy's been pistol whipped.
It's a self-pistol whipping.
I'd like to press charges, officer.
You get to him?
Myself.
Yeah, okay, great. He says, yeah, I'll sign that. Okay, that'll work. It's just, I know, by the way, you're a moron.
Hey, aren't you the same guy that didn't tell me you had a gun a month ago?
Oh, heavenly days. By the time you've revealed all this information, you can't go anywhere or do anything.
Right. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at security cameras right now, and there's a sheriff in the drive.
That's right. It's a big black Suburban just rolled up in front.
How about you two, wrap this up, and I'll...
6 guys standing on the running boards, so...
Oh, I hear a helicopter.
All right, ready?
Thank you, Les Nessman. Okay. Oh, goodness. Well, let's see. It's funny, Michelle, I was just thinking when you were talking about having everything on you, I'm thinking, okay, what am I carrying right now? I've got my Surefire flashlight in my left front pocket. I've got a knife in my right front pocket. And then I've got a pistol over here, and I've got an extra mag. I think I've got 27 rounds with me today. It's my usual walk out the door load.
It's a good start.
It's a good start. With that, you could fight your way to more guns and more ammo.
Right.
With any luck. So there you are. It's yes, I can come up with scenarios that wouldn't be enough for, but they're so far down the list of probability. At a certain point, you just have to say, okay, I'm just going to lose if that happens.
Right. The best that I can.
Thank God no other aspects of life are a compromise, just carrying.
Yeah, right. So which kind of takes us back to the 1911. It's okay. Yeah, I could do 8. I can carry 8 rounds or a 45 or 9 rounds of 9 in a 1911, and it does not bother me at all to carry 2 extra 1911 mags on the belt because they're so thin. Mm-hmm. So 8, and 9. Okay, that would work. 16.
Well, see, now if you carried the Cal-Tec with a couple extra mags, you would have 6,000 rounds that we talked about earlier.
I'm going to have a belt-fed pistol. That's what I'm going to do. That's right.
Never saw a tripod on a pistol before, but okay.
Yeah, sure, that'll work.
Bipod action.
It's just get one of those little golf carts and put it on that and drag it around behind you. Little pull cart thing. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Well, once again, we have wasted another almost hour doing this foolishness. So here we go. So
should we apologize to both listeners?
Well, one guy is sick and the other is out of town, so we actually have no listeners today.
Okay.
So
good thing I didn't record this. Then
that's a good thing. That's right. You might as well put it out there. You never know who might just stumble upon it anyway. By the way, for anybody who is listening, if there's anybody left listening at this point,
that one guy,
Mom. I love you, Dad.
Okay.
Oh, goodness gracious. In all seriously, we are giving away stuff. So go to guntalk.com/win, WIN, and you can enter for a chance to win the Alien Gear Cool holster, because we're always looking for more holsters and comfortable holsters. So there's that, and get your GunDealio app, because we have all those deals available there. How much you going to find out about? Michelle, I was thinking, you ought to have all of your salespeople have that, so they can always say, hey, and if you buy this, Springfield's got a special deal, or Smith's got a special deal. So how much are they going to know about that?
Doesn't hurt the retailer at all.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Plus, you have all the recall information there, too.
Good point. By the way, for those who don't know, Ruger has a recall going on the Mark IV pistol. Mm-hmm. So if you have a Mark IV 22 caliber pistol from Ruger, first of all, don't shoot it and contact Ruger immediately, and they will tell you what you need to do to get it back in and get it taken care of, and they'll get it back to you. So there's that.
Okay.
So
accomplished.
All right. We checked that box off. So I have to go out, and it's been a week since I've gotten into a road rage incident, and I just need to go drive fast somewhere and cut somebody off.
Yeah, you're due.
Yeah, exactly.
You should come up to the Ohio area. Jim will be out.
let me brief you on the laws while you're here that I know so well.
And he, A, may lose a wallet. B...
slap himself silly with his string-mounted holster.
Right.
Or C, approach another police vehicle.
I'm telling you, though, you still got to rhino hide that motorcycle you got, dude.
I like that idea.
Yep.
Windshield and everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Just think how stealthy you would be in that.
Oh, yeah.
They couldn't see you, and you couldn't see through the windshield. So it'd be great.
What could possibly go wrong?
Just turn your headlights on brighter. All right, Michelle, have a great week. Jim, have a week.
Yeah, whatever.
Bye, y'all.
See ya.
Tom. Well, that wraps up another Gun Talk After Show. But if you want even more gun-related stuff, don't forget to check out GunDealio. It's the app for Apple and Android phones that connects you to all the Gun Talk shows, plus even more. And we'll catch you next time for the Gun Talk After Show.